Have you ever wondered what it takes to live alone after 80 with strength, confidence, and purpose? It might seem daunting at first, but countless seniors are thriving independently well into their 80s and 90s, not because they have superhuman abilities, but because they've built their lives on a few unshakable pillars. Whether you're navigating solo living now, preparing for the future, or supporting someone who is, this video is for you. We're diving into 5 essential pillars that can keep you safe, steady, and truly fulfilled, even when living alone. These aren't complicated theories or impossible routines, just practical, real-life truths that work. Stick with us until the end, because the 5th pillar might surprise you and could be the key to unlocking a life of independence and joy you never thought possible. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Pillar 1. A reliable daily routine. For those navigating life alone after the age of 80, establishing a reliable daily routine is not just a practical choice, it's a transformative one. There's an inherent strength in the predictability of a well-structured day, a rhythm that becomes a lifeline when you're living solo in your later years. A thoughtfully crafted routine serves as an anchor, grounding you in a sense of purpose and control, even as the world around you may feel increasingly unpredictable. It's a framework that organizes your time, reduces the mental burden of decision-making, and empowers you to shape your days with intention rather than letting them slip by in a haze of uncertainty. The beauty of a routine lies in its ability to counteract the risks that come with aging alone, particularly the temptation to drift into passivity. Without the external prompts of a partner, family, or daily obligations, it's all too easy to let structure erode. Breakfast might be skipped or delayed until noon. Physical activity, once a regular part of life, becomes an afterthought. Days can blur together, marked by long stretches of inactivity, perhaps hours spent in front of the television or staring out a window. This lack of engagement isn't just a matter of boredom. It has tangible consequences. Physically, the body grows stiffer and weaker without regular movement. Mentally, the absence of stimulation can dull the mind, leading to cognitive decline. Emotionally, the creeping sense of loneliness and disconnection can dim the spark that once defined your days. A well-designed daily routine acts as a bulwark against these risks. It's not about filling every moment with activity, but about creating predictable touchpoints that give your day shape and meaning. Imagine starting your morning with a cup of tea or coffee on the porch, savoring the quiet as the sun rises. Picture a gentle stretch or a short walk around the block to keep your body limber. Perhaps you set aside time in the afternoon to read a favorite book or call a friend in the evening to share a laugh. These small, intentional acts weave a tapestry of stability and purpose, reminding you that each day holds value and that your life, even in its quieter moments, is still vibrant and meaningful. Beyond emotional and mental benefits, a routine supports physical health in practical ways. Scheduled meals encourage balanced nutrition, preventing the haphazard eating habits that can lead to weight loss or malnutrition, common concerns for older adults living alone. Planned physical activity, even something as simple as a daily walk or chair exercises, keeps joints flexible and muscles strong, reducing the risk of falls and maintaining independence. Setting specific times for medications or rest ensures that critical health needs aren't overlooked in the fog of an unstructured day. Together, these habits function like the gears of a finely tuned clock, each small action contributing to the smooth operation of your overall well-being. Consider the story of Harold, an 84-year-old widower who found himself adrift after his wife's passing. Without her presence, his days lost their rhythm. He'd linger in bed, skip meals, and spend hours lost in the glow of the television, feeling less like himself with each passing day. But Harold reached a turning point when he decided to reclaim his life. Armed with a simple notepad, he sketched out a modest daily schedule. Wake at 7 a.m., enjoy a light breakfast, read the morning paper, take a short walk, prepare lunch, rest in the afternoon, and make a phone call to a friend or family member in the evening. It wasn't an elaborate plan, but it was enough. By committing to this rhythm, Harold noticed a shift. His energy returned, his mood lifted, and he felt a renewed sense of agency. The routine became his foundation, a daily reminder that he was still in charge of his life. Building a routine doesn't require grand gestures or complex plans. Start by asking yourself, What does a day that feels good look like? Maybe it's savoring a favorite breakfast, tending to a small garden, or listening to music in the evening. Identify the moments that bring you joy or calm, and weave them into your day. Begin with 1 or 2 consistent habits, like a morning walk or a set bedtime, and gradually layer in more as they feel natural. The key is consistency, not perfection. Over time, these small choices compound, creating a framework that supports your health, your spirit, and your independence. For anyone living alone or preparing to, a reliable daily routine isn't just a tool, it's a lifeline, a foundation for thriving in your later years. Pillar 2. A clear communication lifeline. Living alone after 80 doesn't mean you have to be isolated, but it does demand intentional effort to maintain meaningful connections. The second pillar of thriving solo is establishing a clear communication lifeline, a system that ensures you're never truly alone, even when you're physically on your own. This lifeline is about more than casual chats. It's about creating a reliable network of support for both everyday moments and emergencies. It's about knowing who to call when you need help, having a plan for unexpected crises, and fostering regular contact with people who care about you. In short, it's about building a safety net of human connection that keeps you secure and grounded. One of the biggest hurdles for older adults living alone is the reluctance to reach out. Many fear being a burden or worry that asking for help signals weakness. But connection isn't a burden, it's a fundamental human need, as vital as food or shelter. When you live alone, staying in touch isn't just about combating loneliness, it's about safety. A communication lifeline ensures that someone will notice if you're not yourself, whether due to a fall, a sudden illness, or simply a day when you're feeling low. It's the peace of mind that comes from knowing help is just a call or a knock away, preventing small issues from escalating into serious problems. Take the example of Ellen, an 81-year-old woman who lived alone and created a simple but effective system to stay connected. Every morning by 9 a.m., she sent a brief "good morning" text to her daughter and her neighbor. If they didn't hear from her by that time, they'd call to check in. If she didn't answer by 10 a.m., one of them would stop by her home. This routine was straightforward but powerful. For Ellen, it meant she could go about her day with confidence, knowing someone would notice if something was wrong. For her daughter and neighbor, it provided reassurance that Ellen was safe without requiring constant oversight. The system worked because it was clear, consistent, and mutually understood. A perfect example of a communication lifeline in action. Technology can make maintaining this lifeline easier than ever, even for those who aren't tech-savvy. A basic cell phone with a speed dial list of trusted contacts is a powerful tool. Devices like medical alert systems or voice-activated assistants, such as Amazon's Alexa or Google Home, can provide. System. Apologies. It seems your message was cut off. Based on the provided text, I've expanded and enriched the description of the second pillar, a clear communication lifeline, while preserving its core meaning and ideas. Below is the detailed and extended version of. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Pillar 3. A daily purpose you wake up for. When you're over 80 and living alone, the world can feel like it's slowed to a crawl. The structured routines that once defined your life, going to work, raising children, managing a bustling household, are often gone, replaced by a quiet freedom that's both liberating and daunting. Without the external demands that once shaped your days, time can start to feel shapeless, like a river without banks. This is why one of the most vital pillars for thriving in your later years is having a daily purpose. A reason to wake up, get out of bed, and engage with the world. Purpose isn't just a nice to have. It's a lifeline that keeps your spirit anchored and your life vibrant. Without a sense of purpose, days can blur into one another, losing their distinct edges. You might find yourself staring out the window, wondering where the hours went, or feeling a quiet emptiness that's hard to name. This isn't just about boredom. It's about the slow erosion of meaning. Studies in gerontology consistently show that a lack of purpose can accelerate declines in physical health, cognitive function, and emotional well-being. Your mood may dip, your memory may falter, and even your body may feel heavier when nothing is pulling you forward. Purpose is the antidote, a spark that gives your days direction and reminds you that you're still an active participant in your own story. The good news? Purpose doesn't need to be grand or ambitious. You don't need to start a charity, write a novel, or achieve some monumental feat for many older adults. Purpose is found in the small, deliberate acts that bring joy, connection, or a sense of accomplishment. It might be tending to a modest garden, where you nurture a row of herbs or coax a stubborn rosebush into bloom, feeling the satisfaction of dirt under your nails. It could be the daily walk to the mailbox, where you wave to a neighbor or notice the changing seasons. Perhaps it's the crossword puzzle you tackle each morning, refusing to let a tricky clue defeat you, or the stray cat you've taken to feeding, who now greets you with a grateful purr. I recall meeting Walter, an 84-year-old widower living alone in a small town in Nebraska. After losing his wife of 50 years and most of his close friends, Walter's world could have felt unbearably quiet. But he found a purpose that gave his days structure and meaning. Every morning, he'd rise at dawn, put on a crisply ironed shirt, brew a pot of strong black coffee, and sit at his kitchen table with a worn notebook listing the names and phone numbers of his high school classmates. His mission was simple yet profound: to call one friend each day, just to check in, share a laugh, or reminisce about the days when they were young and the world felt full of possibility. "I'm keeping the old gang alive," he'd say with a twinkle in his eye. Those calls weren't just conversations. They were a ritual that gave Walter a reason to comb his hair, clear his throat, and face the day with intention. They connected him to his past, his identity, and the people who shaped him, reminding him that his life still mattered. Purpose creates a rhythm, a heartbeat for your days. It transforms ordinary moments into meaningful rituals, anchoring your time and keeping loneliness at bay. When you live alone, that rhythm is especially crucial. Without it, the silence of an empty house can amplify feelings of isolation, making you feel like a bystander in your own life. But even the simplest tasks, making your bed with care, choosing a favorite scarf, or preparing a meal with intention, can become acts of purpose. These rituals are declarations that you're still here, still shaping your world, still mattering to yourself and others. What makes purpose so powerful is its deeply personal nature. It doesn't need to impress anyone or meet society's standards. It just needs to resonate with you, to lift your spirit when the morning feels heavy or the day stretches long. Maybe it's knitting a blanket for a new grandchild, writing letters to a faraway friend, or keeping a journal where you capture your memories and dreams. Maybe it's as simple as feeding the birds and watching them gather in your yard, knowing you've made their day a little brighter. The key is to ask yourself, what makes me feel alive, even just a little? What small victory can I claim today? That's your purpose. Nurturing that purpose, day after day, is one of the most powerful ways to not just survive but thrive alone after 80. It's about more than filling time. It's about filling your life with meaning. A life with purpose, no matter how quiet or simple, is a life that feels worth living. It's a life where you're not just passing through the days but shaping them, claiming them, making them yours. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Pillar 4. Connection with one trusted person. Living alone after 80 doesn't mean you have to face every challenge in solitude. One of the most powerful ways to safeguard your emotional and practical well-being is to cultivate a deep, meaningful connection with just one trusted person. You don't need a large social circle or a calendar packed with events. A single, reliable relationship, with someone who truly sees you, hears you, and cares about the nuances of your life, can be enough to anchor you through the uncertainties of aging. This connection isn't about filling your days with noise or superficial chatter. It's about building a bond that grounds you, that makes you feel tethered to the world even when your home is quiet and your routine is solitary. This trusted person might be a friend who remembers your love for blueberry pie, a sibling who notices the fatigue in your voice during a phone call, or a neighbor who asks about your recent doctor's appointment with genuine concern. This relationship acts as both an emotional lifeline and a practical safety net, offering support when the challenges of aging, whether physical, mental, or logistical, begin to feel overwhelming. A true connection goes beyond casual check-ins or polite small talk. It's someone you trust enough to share your unfiltered thoughts, your fears, your joys, and even the quirky moments that only they would understand, like the time you laughed at a squirrel stealing your birdseed or felt unsettled by a strange dream. This person becomes a mirror, reflecting your sense of self and reminding you that you're not just a solitary figure but part of a shared human experience. That reminder can be transformative, especially on a lonely Sunday afternoon when the house feels too quiet or after a difficult day when you need someone to listen. I once heard the story of Lorraine, an 82-year-old widow living alone in a small apartment in Ohio. After her husband passed and her children moved across the country, Lorraine's world shrank. Most of her old friends had either moved to retirement communities or passed on, and she could have easily slipped into isolation. But Lorraine had Clara, a former co-worker who became her lifeline. Every Thursday at 2 p.m., like clockwork, Clara would call. They'd talk about everything and nothing: soup recipes, the weather, their aching joints, or a funny memory from their days working together in a bustling office. Sometimes, they'd just sit in comfortable silence, knowing the other was there. For Lorraine, those calls were more than conversations. They were a ritual that tethered her to the world. They reminded her that someone out there was waiting to hear her voice, that she wasn't forgotten. Clara's calls gave Lorraine's weeks a rhythm, a reason to smile as Thursday approached, and a sense of belonging that carried her through the quieter moments. This kind of connection also offers practical benefits that are critical when you're aging alone. A trusted person becomes your advocate, someone who notices when something's off. If you fall ill, they'll pick up on it. Maybe because you didn't answer the phone or your voice sounded weaker than usual. If your mood darkens, they'll sense the shift and check in. They might alert a family member if you seem unwell or help you navigate a confusing medical bill. This quiet form of protection can make all the difference when you're managing the vulnerabilities of living alone. They know what your normal looks like, the way you laugh, the stories you tell, the way you always have a cup of tea at 4 p.m., and can spot when something's amiss. Emotionally, the impact is even more profound. Knowing that someone would miss you, that they'd worry if they didn't hear from you, shifts your entire perspective. You're not just drifting through your days. You're connected, valued, seen. This sense of belonging brings comfort, dignity, and a renewed sense of purpose. It's a reminder that your life, with all its quirks and quiet moments, matters to someone else. It can transform a solitary afternoon into a moment of warmth, knowing that someone out there is thinking of you. So, who is your one person? It could be a friend from church who shares your love of hymns, a cousin you've always admired, a neighbor who waves from across the street, or even an old colleague you've lost touch with but always felt a spark of connection with. Don't wait for them to reach out. Take the first step. Call them. Write a letter. Invite them for coffee or a walk. Nurture that bond, because surviving alone after 80 isn't about complete independence. It's about building a circle of trust, even if it's just one person wide. That single connection can be the difference between feeling isolated and feeling like you belong. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Pillar 5. A daily sense of purpose. No matter your age, whether you're 25 or 85, a sense of purpose is what breathes life into your days. It's the inner spark that makes you want to get out of bed, the quiet conviction that your actions, however small, matter. For those living alone after 80, purpose becomes even more critical. It's the fuel that keeps your spirit vibrant, your mind engaged, and your heart open. Without it, time can feel like a vast, empty expanse, with one day bleeding into the next. With it, even the simplest moments become rich with meaning, transforming your days into a story you're actively writing. Purpose doesn't need to be monumental or world-changing. You don't have to save the planet, write a bestseller, or reinvent yourself. For many older adults, purpose is found in the small, deliberate acts that give shape to the day. It might be watering your houseplants each morning, watching them thrive under your care, and feeling a quiet pride in their growth. It could be calling your niece every Sunday to hear about her life and share a piece of your own, strengthening a bond across generations. Perhaps it's filling the bird feeder and noting which feathered visitors arrive, creating a daily ritual that connects you to the natural world and its rhythms. These acts aren't trivial, they're anchors. They create a rhythm that grounds you, reminding you that your actions, no matter how small, have value. Without this rhythm, the risk of feeling invisible grows. Loneliness doesn't always come from being alone. It can stem from feeling like your existence doesn't matter. Purpose changes that. It transforms you from a passive observer of your life into its active author, giving you a reason to care, to show up, to participate. I once knew a man named Harold, an 84-year-old widower living alone in a small town in Oregon. After losing his wife, his career, and many of his friends, Harold's world could have felt hollow. But he found a purpose that gave his days meaning. Every morning, he'd step outside with a small notebook and a pencil, jotting down the weather and the birds he saw in his backyard: robins, sparrows, the occasional hawk. He started mailing these notes to his great-granddaughter in Minnesota, a 10-year-old who loved birds and looked forward to his letters. She'd write back, asking about the cardinals or sharing her sightings, her letters filled with colorful drawings of feathers and nests. For Harold, this simple exchange became his lifeline. It wasn't just about the birds. It was about connection, attention, and the joy of knowing his observations mattered to someone else. That daily ritual gave him a reason to rise, to notice the world, and to feel alive. Purpose can also come from giving back. Your wisdom, honed over decades, is a gift the world still needs. Maybe it's sharing stories with a younger neighbor, teaching them about the past, how people lived, loved, and persevered in times gone by. Perhaps it's passing down a skill, like knitting a scarf or baking your grandmother's famous cornbread recipe. You might volunteer from home, writing letters to soldiers, mentoring a young person online, or helping a local charity with small tasks. Even if physical limitations slow you down, your ability to inspire and teach remains boundless. Your experiences are a treasure trove, and sharing them can create ripples of impact you may never fully see. Alternatively, purpose can be deeply personal, an act of self-growth that keeps you connected to yourself. Maybe it's learning to paint, dipping a brush into vibrant colors, and discovering a new side of your creativity. Perhaps it's practicing meditation, finding peace in the quiet moments of reflection. Keeping a journal where you explore your thoughts, memories, and dreams can be a powerful way to stay engaged with your inner world. These acts remind you that you're still evolving, still discovering, still alive in every sense of the word. Without purpose, life can start to feel like you're merely passing time, waiting for the days to unfold. But with it, every moment becomes an opportunity to create, connect, and claim your place in the world. Purpose keeps your mind sharp, your emotions steady, and your heart engaged. It's the difference between drifting through life and steering it. So, ask yourself, what makes you want to greet the day? What small act feels like a victory? Find it, nurture it, and let it guide you. Because a life with purpose, no matter how quiet or simple, is a life that shines with meaning. So, there you have it, the 5 essential pillars to not just survive, but truly thrive while living alone after 80. These pillars, health, social connection, security, adaptability, and purpose, are within your reach, empowering you to shape a life that reflects who you are and what matters most to you. Aging doesn't mean fading away. It's a chance to write a wiser, quieter chapter with intention and courage. We'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that you're excited to bring into your life? Drop it in the comments below and share how you plan to put it into practice. Your thoughts inspire us and others on this journey. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.